You know, a lot of your enemies are waiting for a crash out moment. They're waiting for it. They like suspect that you're going to crash out. Couldn't be further from the truth. Here's the crash out moment from me. I was born into this world as a suicidal baby. My earliest thoughts of living was to die. My only thing that I had to do in this life was not kill myself. I am 36 years old now, and I don't think in this era of time, in all my past lives, I don't think I've lived past 36. I don't think so. I think I was either killed or I killed myself. So I'm kind of like in an interesting realm in the human form where I'm like, I'm the oldest I think I've ever been in this life, like in this world. Because in all my past lives, I was either killed or murdered by this age. So it's like interesting to me. And I feel like I am only just living for the first time. At 35, at 35, I was like, dude, I feel like I'm just starting to live for the first time ever. Like, I don't think I was ever really like living. It's like my life began a year ago. So that's cool. If you're waiting for a crash out from me, let me give you a crash out. I don't like people who don't like love. Not that I don't like them, but there's a expiration date on them. That's not that I don't like them. It's just there's an expiration date on people who don't like love. The Crowley call I have a problem with because Crowley deceived you into thinking pleasure is love. Pleasure is love. Pleasure is not love. And multi generations of people who think pleasure is love, money, power, control, influence. Like, influence is actually the biggest currency. More than money, influence is the biggest currency in this world. So, influence is kind of like a trash receptacle for people who just don't like resonate with love. They resonate with celebrities, politicians. Donald is being a great mechanism to teach people how this is just a freaking cop out, dude. He's not. I just scroll past. I don't want to hear anything about any world affairs. I don't want to hear anything about any plans. I just scroll past. I only want to hear from regular people who are enduring regular life. That's all I care about because the mind is that powerful. What are people's minds doing? That's what I pay attention to. That's the news. The news is not what's going on here, there, and everywhere. It's a matrix of insanity, dude. And it's like, I believe in idolatry of the news and paying attention to what's going on everywhere around the world. Meanwhile, somehow we're protected here in the vicinity that we live. And what are you supposed to do? Put your mind into what's going on in the other side of the world with these earthquakes and stuff? Good, like, sorry about you. It's a problem when people put their energy into nonsensical places. You're not supposed to be a bleeding heart for what's happening on the other side of the world. We don't even know what the hell this world is. We're only just finding out. A lot of these people, not human. Why do they act the way that they do? Vampires, dude. All these celebrities are vampires. I'm not saying they're the worst people ever. They're just vampires. This is a Crowley cult situation where they just keep like repackaging themselves. Okay, but you want me to crash out. So, childhood, crash out, growing up, nothing against my parents, no love. No love. Nothing against my parents. My parents were wonderful parents, but I think that everyone in my millennial age bracket, we can understand that like there was so much divorce within our parents because there was a generation that was like unevenly yoked. And it's a blessing and it's a good thing because they're all like going their own way now and everything is like being better. But like we look at that as like we're not going to repeat the same bullshit. right? Like, we're not going to do what our parents did with a 60% plus. Dude, it was 60% when I was a teenager. So what is it now with the boomers? The boomers have a divorce rate that is like uncanny. There is so much divorce within the boomer generation. It's unbelievable because the situation was an unevenly yoked generation. Okay, so millennials are not about that. So, what did the systematic matrix situation do to the millennials? As soon as we came into adulthood, you had 2008 like economic crash. And I was 18 and I was like, dude, who cares? If no one has money, no one has money. Who cares? What makes wealth is like, oh, this guy has a lot and this person doesn't have a lot. That's a problem. If nobody has money, then nobody has money. But why did these people still have money? What is going on with this weird breakaway within our civilization? And they don't die. Like, they're being repackaged. Normal people are like reborn into a situation. And it was actually beneficial for us to hide because I'm a pretty influential spirit. It was actually beneficial for me to hide, to be born into a seemingly normal situation. It worked out to my advantage because I was able to hide in society. I was able to be undercover in a sense because I was a seemingly nobody. So it worked out into our favor for as long as it did. And now we're reaching the end times where we're wondering, why do all these influential people have all this money and all this influence? And the only thing that I can come up with is because it's a trash receptacle. It's a harvesting technique. People who worship celebrities and politicians and the Crowley cult, even Crowley in the end, he was like, God, what have I done? He stirred perhaps millions of people away from God only to say, God, what have I done? He knew it all along. So I didn't have a single friend. This is why all his friends, he sabotaged their relationships because he was predatory. Because the spirit of Lucifer is predatory towards people. The dumbest shit that they can convince you to do, and you do it, not your friend. Not your friend at all. Coming into adulthood. I don't know. I don't want to make this video too long. Should I keep going? I was indoctrinated to just work and work and work. I had like 3 jobs, going to school, blah, blah, broke my wrist. And then like I couldn't do anything. When I was 20, I broke my wrist and I couldn't do anything. From 16, I made a ton of money at 16. Like, no 16-year-old should have made the amount of money that I made when I was 16. No 16-year-old should have made that amount. But when I was 16, I made so much money no 16-year-old should ever have. And I was indoctrinated into this belief that life was all about making money and striving to make money. When I was 20, I broke my wrist snowboarding and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do a single thing for 10 weeks. I had to have surgery. I was just sitting home doing literally nothing. And I have actually never, ever gone back on that 20-year-old self because that gave me the freedom to recognize that life is more than just making money. And I continued to make a ton of money, but I learned in that era that like I didn't need, like, this is not what life is all about. In fact, kind of doing nothing is pretty heavenly. Pretty heavenly, dude. Relationships never in this world. They don't, because there's an antichrist nature in men that is in total rebellion against women. Oh, they do. Some of them do. Don't get me wrong. Some of them do. And that is like, that's my economy. My economy is the people whose loving relationships actually work out. In fact, that's like the only people I can rely on are people who are actually in love with their spouse or are like single people of love. I can't fuck with people who are in like a lavender marriage, a swinging marriage. You can't, because there's too many demons kind of infiltrating and around, and they're insecure and they're weird and it's like blah blah, blah. You can't rely on them because there's a whole other demographic going on. But for a lot of us, what's the millennial attack? Why is there all this witchcraft after men? It's because it's the spirit of Baal under Moloch. Moloch is not the most powerful satanic god, it's Baal. But so long as people keep giving these men worship, and these men keep like agreeing to it and like absorbing it, to what detriment? This is like Revelation 17:8 in the end. It's the beast that was and is no longer. It's the story of the Beauty and the Beast. It's the story of Dracula. It's the story of men finding out that they have been accepting worship from these dark entities in lieu of pursuing God's will in love. It's so interesting, because people will say that they've had like dated men who were not human, and I completely understand. They're like half and half. Men are like half and half. They're like half monsters, half human. And what makes them a monster is absorbing all the energy of the Moloch satanic energy. They want that. So long as they consciously want that, then they stay steeped in the demands of the world. And if they're steeped in the demands of the world, then they cannot have love from the woman. See, all these men think that they can stay steeped in this worship of the world and still have the love of a woman, and they can't. It's like oil and actually beyond oil and water, it's something worse than oil and water. It's something even more worse than oil and water. You can't. There's no possible way. You don't breathe the same breath. You do not create the same life. And God has put his judgment down on the situation. So going back to like the divorce situation, like God used to give mercy to the divorce situation where like oil and water was mixing. For our generation as millennials, like the God has put his judgment out. Like we're not mixing these realities anymore. And it brings me to the Meatloaf song, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. And it's coming from both sides. As the woman, it's like, I will do anything for love, but I won't do that. What is the thing I won't do? I won't do hedonism. I won't do pleasure in the place of love. I won't. And this is my criticism to the Crowley cult, is you people put pleasure in place of love. And if it were up to me, you would be deleted in some sense, because you cannot put pleasure in the place of love. I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. I won't do pleasure in the form of love. And violence is love in a sense, and I would choose to have you deleted. If it were up to me, and I'm not a martyr, and I'm no longer a bleeding heart, I would choose to have you deleted, because you cannot put pleasure in the place of love. Now, on their end, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. They say, I would do anything for love, but I will not delete myself. They won't delete themselves. So we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And the hard place is not my problem. Not my problem. Because God is above Satan, and it's not for me to bend to the will of any demographic of Satan. And this is where the animosity starts. The animosity between the man and the woman starts with the fact that the woman has nothing to lose. The man has everything to lose. Be deleted. Has everything to lose. Just be deleted then. And it's possible. And everyone knows that Satan goes into like a pit of something or other, because this shit is not sustainable. but it's not for the woman. Like, this is why men hate women, is because we have this protection, and we also like don't care. Like, it doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter. Men hate women because there is this thing where they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. The woman says, I would do anything for love, but I will not put pleasure in the place of love. Men say, oh, I will do anything for love, but I will not kill myself. And we're not asking men to kill themselves, obviously, but they will not like somehow drop their pride and delete the monster nature within them. And it's not our problem. Because God is above Satan, you can be deleted. When mercy runs out, the man can be deleted. The monster can be deleted. This is Revelation 17:8. The beast that was and is no longer. It's a worldwide phenomenon where all at once men just start to be like normal. All of a sudden, men just start to be normal. And it's been a process. You know that none of these dudes F with Jezebels anymore. No, they don't. This is why Jezebels are becoming murderous towards women. And these men are waking up because they're seeing how the Jezebels are becoming murderous towards women. Same thing with the whole Muslim freaking infestation. Men are waking up because they're like, why do Muslims hate women so much? Why are they so against women? So it's inspiring men to be more protective, to kill their ego about their distaste for the revelation that a woman brings. Because the serpent in the garden just wanted to tell Eve what was up, but in response, like, Eve has her own thing going on, dude. She could never be severed from God. And I'm going kind of off now, but that's the whole thing. It's like she could never be severed from God because the woman could never be severed from the man. But the man is just like repackaged in a new form with a lesser consciousness, and like the principles of the original creation still stand. So the original principles of the original creation still stand. The woman is fully protected by God. Don't need you for anything. Don't need you for money. Don't need you for anything. And don't respect this deception that you've created that is drawing in tons of people. And maybe all these people are giving you money, but maybe you're deceiving them all. And they know it. Deep down, they know it. So in the end times, with like all these like men against women, women against men, the irony is it's like the woman never had anything to lose. She didn't. That's why Joan of Arc did what she did with no fear. This like young girl just went into battle with these people. She's like, these are the kings. The kings that are like, it's like the same thing being repackaged. It's like, I'm saying Donald is not it. Right? It's the same story playing out. Donald is not it, dude. He's not your dude. Donald is not your dude. You're insane. In fact, your dudes are people that you don't even know. And you'll find out, but you don't know them yet. Your dudes, the kings, are people that you don't know about. When Christ returns, people are going to think he's the Antichrist because they don't know him. They don't know him at all. It's possible Donald is the AC because when the AC comes, people are going to think that's the AC when it might actually be the C, the Christ. This is what these people are trying to thwart off so bad, is the return of the AC. They hate Lucifer because they want Lucifer, just like Baal, to continue to accept the worship of Moloch. They want men to continue to worship all the bullshit energy that they're getting from everyone else. And all at once, these dudes will probably be like, you know what? It's not worth it anymore. Baal is way more superior to Moloch. Lucifer is far more superior to Satan. They're not the same person. So when they come back, people are going to say, oh, it's the Antichrist. And it's probably going to be the Christ. It's probably going to be the return of Christ. Probably. And I've been wondering this for a while, like, because it's so reality is so convoluted. But some dude that I really respect, he's like, dude, I think, unpopular opinion, Donald might actually be the Antichrist. And it's layered for a reason. It's layered for the reason of deception. It's layered because there's a deception. All these Christians are going to be like, that's the Antichrist. Okay, so like die for your faith. Like I would. I'm not taking the mark of the beast, by the way. I'm not going to take the mark of the beast. Like if cops have to come to your door, like I won't open it. Like if it's important enough, like they can knock it down. And if they knock it down and they're like, you got to take the mark of the beast, I'd be like, nope, kill me. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think a lot of people are going to answer the door and take the mark, and a wide variety of shenanigans are going to happen to the Christians who answer the door, and detriment comes to them. Because where was the Spirit of God in you when you did that? That's going to be the thing. Where was the Spirit of God in you when you answered the door? Where was the Spirit of God in you when you went out into pure darkness with monsters running everywhere? Like, where was the Spirit of God in you? This is going to be the difference. It's not all just spiritual. It's becoming like mechanical. Like people are robots. They will just align to what they are aligned to. And then they're subservient to this entity, and they will just walk into a slaughter. Like they're just going to walk into a slaughter. So anyways, you're not going to get crash out from me. This is it. This is my crash out. I was a suicidal baby, and then like love is so fucked up in this world, and like my life only just began, and that's why I'm not really crashing out, is because my life only just began, and it's gonna go on from here. It's gonna be good from here on out. And these Crowley people are not going to win. There is no win or lose. Like they're gonna have to figure it the fuck out, dude. All these super soldiers, you're going to have to figure it the fuck out or die, it seems. I'm not going to kill them. It seems you're going to have to figure it the fuck out or die. And a lot of them have some weird oaths that they're just like, yep, ready to die. Where are you going? I don't even know. I don't claim to know what hell is. I have no idea. All right, that's it for now. Check you later. Have a beautiful night.